Well, you guys asked, and now I am going to answer. This is a little Q&A that I'm doing here on this nice Friday. The weather is kind of, well, now it is sunny again. I have this war with the sun every single day. It's based on the sunset. It comes right into my office window, and it does become an issue. It like super hits the entire office. I've been waiting patiently for the weather to turn. It's 80 degrees every day in September. It is crazy. But guys, let's get to it. It is a Q&A. I want to do maybe one of these every week, maybe once bi-weekly, maybe once a month. I don't know what the right number is, but something like that. And all of these questions were found in the community tab. So I just asked in the community tab about 3 or 4 days ago for some questions, and I've picked out about 9 to 10 questions I want to answer here, maybe around 15 minutes. So let's get to the first one. It is from Post Yap Clarity. And he says, are you still depressed? And this is kind of a more all-encompassing question that I get asked a lot on my stream. Why is my name what it is? Depressed Ginger. What do I think of it? Am I going to change my name ever? Number one, that's just not how YouTube works, guys. Even if Trump wins the election, they're like, oh, you're going to change your name. I'm not going to. You have to keep the same name. I like my name. At this point, I think me and a lot of my fans are used to the name, so it's kind of fine. And people just call me DG anyways, but I mean, I like the name. It's unique. I thought of it back. If you go to my social blade, I was looking at this. It says I created my channel on September 28th, which is my birthday. And I mean, I didn't even know I did that. I knew I created it in September, but I don't know when it officially goes into the network or whatever. But I mean, I guess it was September 28th. But this is my second channel anyways. I had another channel back when I was a teenager, and that's been deleted. It only had like 4,000 subscribers anyways. But yeah, it was just a name that I picked because I thought it was unique, and I wanted to pick it, I guess. There's really no crazy rhyme or reason. I mean, I've had issues with depression and things like that, but I think everyone does. It was more so just I thought it was a unique name. And when it comes to YouTube, people use their real names. I always thought that was, I mean, I guess if you're older, you use your real name, but you got to pick like your own signature name. Like, let's be honest. When people think of Depressed Ginger, they think of me. You don't want to choose a name that's similar to another big YouTuber or anything like that. So that all goes into it. We've got the next question here from Goaded. How long have you supported Trump for, and when did you realize how biased the media was? If you can't answer it, that's okay. Oh no, Goated, I can answer it. This is a good question. So I supported Trump back in 2015. And that was really my introduction to politics because at the time I was around 15 years old. There was like when Romney and Obama had their election, I was 12. There's really no political opinion when you're 12. And so I do remember Trump obviously coming down the escalator. I didn't really have a political opinion on him, but that first debate, the Republican primary first debate on Fox News, it was in Cleveland at Quicken Loans Arena. I think it's now called Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, but that was like an arena that I've been to, and I watched that live on Fox News with Megyn Kelly and everything, and obviously Trump was just so much different. He was center stage. You've got Jeb Bush right next to him. Christie was there. I mean, they had like 10 people. That Republican primary, we're never going to see another Republican primary like that probably. But it was amazing, and what a primary that was, and that was really my introduction. And I liked Trump in 2015. Even like when he was neck and neck with like Cruz and Carson, I like Trump, and so yeah, it was really. And then obviously he beats Hillary when I was like a sophomore, or maybe was I a junior at that point? I think the start of my junior year in 2016 would have been November. And then he beat Hillary, and it was just crazy. I stayed up till like 3 a.m. That was a great election. It got decided by like 2, 3 a.m., and nobody thought he was going to win. I remember a time at night when during that election, Trump versus Hillary, when Hillary was like leading Florida, and it looked like she was going to win and everything. I just vividly remember that. And then it just all turned for Trump. And I was mainly watching CNN because I love their graphics, but they were all just so pissed. It was hilarious. What an election that was. But it was 2015. And then when did I realize the media was biased? I think you just know that if you're a partisan person, especially you can tell via a debate if the moderators are biased. You can tell if a network is negatively reporting news against one candidate and not the other. You realize it's biased. But to be fair, this was really broken by Trump with the fake news stuff. And I always felt like CNN was kind of doing the thing where they were like, well, we're not biased, but we have to be left-wing because the right has gone so far. They're all racist now. I feel like CNN was trying to get away with doing that, and they're like a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. They can try and do it. But when Trump came out and just called them all fake news, they got so pissy about it, and it really just it exposed them. And so it really was Trump where I think he had like CNN before Trump, it was like, yeah, they're left wing, but they still try and be fair. But now it's like everyone knows, you know. And even I saw, you know, what was it, Caitlin Collins on that late night show. She's like, we try and be fair, and then everyone just laughs. Like everybody knows, and that's from Trump. That's him calling it out and calling it all fake news. So I think that's really where that came from. We've got the next question. I think this is from, supposed to be XX Sonic the Hedgehog 420. And he talks about my channel and the mixture. It's an exotic mix between a few different topics, which is a big part of why he likes my videos. Were you ever worried that this would make it harder to build a consistent audience, or was it just a who cares, I'll upload whatever I want to mentality? If I made YouTube videos, I think I would take the same approach, but I always figured that it would alienate people. Well, yes, that's a really good point. So it is a little bit different. Now, when it comes to my channel, I started with politics, wasn't successful at that, transferred over to sports, mainly like stadium stuff in the offseason, predictions in the regular season, and then it was 9/11 stuff, introduced that with the sports, and now it's back to politics. But I was doing political videos for a while there the past year when I had like 70, 80, 90, 100K subscribers. They would only get 3,000 or 4,000 views. Obviously, we know what helps with that is the fact that an election is upcoming, so I'm kind of catching the wave, if you will. And I had a few huge videos with the Biden dropout, and I mean, it's been such a crazy election season. I've kind of gotten lucky in terms of that. But when it comes to like mixing sports and politics, it's like oil and water. The fact that my videos, in terms of my prediction videos, have not suffered in terms of their views, it's pretty crazy. I thought they were. I was like, is it even worth it to do NFL or college predictions this year? Because I was expecting like all of my recent videos have been politics. They've all been slanted one way. But the algorithm is like, no, you can make them. I mean, my NFL videos get like 70, 80, 90,000 views. The prediction videos with college football, it's still at like 30, 40K, which is like honestly better than what it was last year. And you would say, well, you've got more subscribers, but normally it doesn't work like that. Like if you transfer and do most of your videos about politics, your sports videos should not do well. So I don't know why they do necessarily well. I don't think I would say it's a good mentality to have necessarily, because it's very hard. You know, that's why they say everyone that you need to have a niche. You can't do all these different things. And I would say if you want to say what's my niche now, it probably is politics. But if you still have like NFL videos once a week, college football videos like 3 times a week that get decent views, I mean, I'll take it. So, but I would say politics at this point is my main niche when it comes to that. We've got Alexis saying, would you rather travel back in time or into the future, and why? Well, that's a deep question. You know, when I think of this, I think back to the movie Prometheus, and when the engineers were seeding the Earth, and just the power. Imagine you could stand on the Earth before there was any civilization, before there was any human life, before there was any life in general. The magnitude of that. But to be honest, it would be the future. I would have to go into the future. I'd have to go like 4,000 years. I would want to see what humans evolve into, what happens to our planet, where do we go, how many planets do we go to, and what happens with Mars. I would have to say the future, even though you could say the past, like the creation of life, the creation of humans, find your creator. I mean, that you could argue that as well. It is a deep question, but like the future, man, it's so tempting to understand what happens to us when we're all going to be long gone. We've got Dr. Pepper with a little Pepsi, little Pepsi avatar there. I like that. What's it like being a ginger, and what do you think? And do you think our country is doomed if Kamala is elected? So I get that question a lot. The second one, I mean. But what is it like being a ginger? I also get that one a lot. But I mean, it's whatever. I mean, obviously, it's in this society, it's not the best, but it is what it is. And then, is the country doomed if Kamala is elected? Well, it's certainly not trending in a good way. I don't want to do the prototypical Republican, oh yeah, it's World War III. But guys, it's not good. Their dialogue, the liberal dialogue with Ukraine and Russia, they don't want any peace deal. What is the future with that? What if something happens really bad in the Middle East and now you've got 2 different situations? I mean, you already do have stuff happening in the Middle East, but what if things get really kicked off and then you've also got a war in Europe? It's a big problem. At least Trump is trying to take steps to have some type of peace with Russia and Ukraine, and now Ukraine has land in Russia, so that could be a bargaining chip. I just think it is a big concern if Harris wins, and I also think it's a concern in terms of what happens to X. Now you say, well, World War III is so much more important. I agree, but we all know there's nothing we can really do if World War III happens. It would be horrible, and obviously that's why we would love to see Trump win, but And it's funny how, like, the fear-mongering has to shift from liberals to the democracy. It's not about world wars. Remember in 2016, how could you give Trump the nuclear codes? And then Trump was president for 4 years, and we had way more peace than we do now. So it's like they have to change their entire argument. So he's a threat to the democracy. Never mind that they just kicked out their incumbent president and installed someone that didn't get any votes. But no, in terms of Harris being elected, I think it's a big problem. I'm not going to say immediately, oh, it's definitely going to start World War III. All I can say is their opinions on things lead me to believe there is a higher probability of a global conflict happening than if Trump gets into office. And that should be enough for many independents to vote for Trump. That's why I think Trump's going to win. I'm very confident Trump will win the election. We've got BZ2398 asking, how long into your journey did it take you to realize you were going to be financially successful on YouTube? Also, what part of Ohio are you from? I'm about 20 minutes south of Cleveland myself. 20 minutes south of Cleveland, wow. I'm not going to say which part of Ohio I'm from, man, but, you don't want to disclose that. But how long into my journey did it take me to realize I was going to be financially successful? I would say probably in the fall, was it 2021, I want to say? Or the fall of 2021 during the realignment. Or like the summer of 2021, you had the realignment, and then you had the fall with college football, and that's really when I started making, $3,000, $4,000 a month, which is not much, but it's at least something tangible to where you can see you're putting in work and it's paying off. With YouTube, it is very hard to get it going, get the snowball rolling. But once you're able to and get into a consistent rhythm and you get constant views every single day, you're uploading every day, it just becomes your job, basically. And so obviously I make a lot more of money today than I did back when I was making $4,000 or $5,000 a month. But that's really how, I started making no money, for like 2 years, and that's just how it starts, unfortunately. You don't start making the money I'm making right now. It's definitely it's got to be a big buildup, and obviously there's a number of different things you can do. You can try and get evergreen videos. Those have mainly been the 9/11 videos for me, a few Titanic videos where they'll get into the algorithm, maybe a few stadium ranking videos, and you'll be able to get like 2,000 views every single day, which is just amazing because you've already got your daily content getting you most of the views, and then you've got all your evergreen videos also combining to get like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 views per day. You're not even doing any work on that, and that's the snowball getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But obviously, the daily stuff, you get a political video to pop off. That's going to be your main breadwinner when it comes to that, or bread bearer, I should say. We've got Mason T asking, what's your favorite video you've made so far? So this question, I would love to get back to doing vlogs. I think I'm trying to get a cameraman right now. I'd love to go to Trump rallies. I'd love to do videos that showcased, more of a personality type thing rather than just reacting to like polls and things like that. But in general, I have had a few videos. The Biden videos were amazing when it was like, ooh, is Biden going to drop out? The family meeting, that was like the biggest viewed video I've ever had. That was a fun video to make. It was just fun because it was the perfect time to be like a YouTuber in politics, speculation, because we knew that it was probably going to happen. This was not like, oh, these are crazy rumors, like Biden's going to be forced to step down. But it was like, this was a saga that was going on for almost a month, and it was a horrible debate. And it was like we knew what was going to happen. He was going to have a terrible debate. He'd barely be able to talk. And it's almost like a soap opera. So it was amazing to make those videos. And then also, I would say the Texas Mansion video was really fun to make. I made that video on a Saturday in February when it was like, it was like really misty out. It was like 50 degrees. It was unseasonably warm. That was a fun video to make as well. We've also got this from Knight's Blood 100. What do you think about the divisive rhetoric from both sides, and would a multi instead of a bi-party system solve this increasing and destructive trend towards division, strawmanning the other side, and extremism now that we see with both the Democrats and Republicans? Well, I think there's been a few different things that have caused it. You could say, well, Trump, because people either love him or hate him, but the media also plays into that by ramping up the hatred against Trump for views. And you also do have, just in general, the internet. The internet is going to make... imagine if Trump was, running in 2004, it would be infinitely less divisive because we wouldn't be communicating and arguing with each other at the snap of the fingers on the internet with Twitter or with X or with Instagram or on YouTube in the comments. It's so much easier for us to access each other and argue and divide even more. And so that's one of the big things that I think the internet and getting closer with each other in terms of that, which obviously is a big negative because we're not actually communicating with each other face to face. It makes it easier for everyone to be more mean. And I'm not saying anything you guys don't know, but do I think there'll be a third party at some point? Yes, I do. Will it be 2028? Probably not that soon, but there will be someone. The problem with third party is we've got so many very partisan people who are like, if you find an independent person, you're going to get the partisan Dem saying they're too Republican. You're going to get the partisan Republican saying they're too Democrat. I can't vote. So it's like, you have to get like the right independent, and you have to get this whole movement, and it's very hard, but I would say it would be something like that. If I had to guess in terms of possibly a third party. I think it could happen in 2028, but probably 2032. We will see. Philly Cheese Stick asks, will you bring back Storytime life update content? Well, yes, that's a question I get a lot, which is pretty surprising, though. It's not like those videos get like millions of views or anything like that, but people always ask me about that. But I do have some stories, but some things I will probably disclose, but I don't really want it to be public right now. But yeah, I mean, at some point those will probably come back to. I mean, I could do like 5 of them right now if I really wanted to tell some stuff, but I would rather not do that right now, honestly. We've got Kevin T saying, this will be the last question. Who do you think has the best polling aggregator? Well, I mean, I think it's hard to say because we don't know the polling error. Now, we can speculate and we can say they're probably going to underestimate Trump, and I believe that's true. But it's starting to feel like the Twilight Zone. It's starting to feel like 2020 because at the beginning, we remember Trump was beating Biden, and then even when Kamala got in, Trump withstood the little surge, and then it looked a lot better. But now we're starting to see all the ridiculous polls from QnA. It's the same thing every single cycle with these pollsters and oversampling Democrats, inaccurately polling Trump supporters. So I really don't know. I mean, I liked... there were some that were decent, but they just take into account all the polls. And if you include all these Democrat-leaning polls that are, to me are biased, I mean, if you don't believe me, go look at the 2020 and 2016 results on who got the most accurate polls. They're all Republican polls because the Democrat ones are so ridiculously biased, like the major news outlets. It's like they don't know how to poll Trump supporters. So I'm not sure. I mean, I did like Nate Silver's, but now Silver seems like he's incorporating Quinnipiac, all the crap polls that have Harris up by like 6 points in Pennsylvania, up by like 8 among seniors. Oh yeah, she's going to win seniors by 8 points in a swing state. I mean, come on. So I would say, I don't know. You have to factor all of them in and kind of, take them at face value for what they are. But either way, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. And you know what? If I do another one of these, it's just going to be, I will put it in the comment section of the community tab, and that is where you'll be able to ask me questions. But that is going to do it for this video.